And give me an idea of what kind of stuff you do.
Expanding minds, one show at a time. So every theater piece that we do is to educate, to advocate, and to teach about other cultures besides white culture.
Yeah, sure.
And our interactions with one another.
Amen.
So then that way we can understand that we're a lot the same, and we can enjoy our uniqueness and our differences just as well as our similarities.
Well, if you don't like these people, you don't like anybody. I could have spent hours talking to them. And of course, that was the last conversation I had a 3-day weekend, so my brain was pretty fried, but I did the best I could. I had a couple of Joe Biden moments there, I couldn't remember a few things, but other than that, I think this went pretty well. I try to judge people from their, when they first walk up to kind of know what I've got in front of me. So, I asked the probing questions. Where are you from? Which is going to give me some information there. And what do you do, of course. And so from there, I can gauge where I'm going to go. Now, of course, there's a black couple from the Bay Area and from Central Valley. So what would you assume? And then magic happens. Whatever you might have assumed gets blown out the window when they open up their mouths. Just love these guys. I try to look up some of the information on their theater company, which is Toast Co., just like it sounds, Toast Co. And it's a theater group, and apparently they do political activism theater, which is tremendous. It's kind of like what I do on the street. So, and what I used to do back in the day with some of the first guerrilla street theater groups that were performing and on the streets of San Francisco. I sincerely hope you like this one, because I can't imagine anybody hitting the not like button on this. And if you do, well, keep me out there by helping me out, contribute. Hit that like button and share this, because it is about sharing, and contribute if you can. I do need to see some action on my shop, please. If the description box tag doesn't work, just go to my website, badassunclesam.com, and you can hit the shop button. It'll take you straight there. Again, I'm working real hard on trying to get some things done, but time is my enemy. I just swamped with work, and it's hard for me to get around to everything. But thank you very much. Thank you very much for those that do contribute. I really do appreciate it. All right, let's get into this, and I'll see you on the other side.
We're from California.
What part?
Well, from the Bay Area, from Central Valley.
Okay. I used to live at 3133 Washington Street back when I was a hippie.
Really? Where was that at?
In San Francisco.
San Francisco, okay.
And then I lived on the beaches, Hermosa and Manhattan Beach also for a while.
Manhattan Beach is a beautiful place.
Oh, back then it was gorgeous. I imagine it still is. I mean, you can't ruin a beach too much. I mean, it's
what can you
what is it, sand and water? What are you going to do with it?
Right.
It's going to remain the same.
That's right. So I like this.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Is this for so the bulletproof vest fund is for her or for him?
No, it's for me.
It's for you. Oh, to keep you out of trouble.
Don't you think I need it doing this? I mean, you've been reading the news. You see what happens when you get out here trying to do your political stuff.
I tell you, political stuff is interesting. It's interesting.
Oh, God,
so,
yeah.
which you want to
What do you do back there? What do you do?
We're actors.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we do. We're actors who use theater as activists to teach and to educate.
Wonderful. When I was in San Francisco, when I first went out there, I was working with the Guerrilla Street Theater groups, with the Good Earth people and Bill and Sandy Love.
Okay.
And it was one of the first street theater groups.
Yeah.
We used to get out on the street and do, political theater.
Yeah.
How wonderful!
Wow, isn't that something? Yeah.
Well, that's terrific,
Okay.
man. Yeah.
So what are we gonna do here? So I'm not sure. Do we have to? Can we take a picture here?
You do whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever you want. So, how do I see your work? How can I do you? Are you online or?
You know what? We're online. If you look us up at Toastco on Facebook, TOASTCO, like Toast Co for Toast Company. The acronym is for Telling Our Authentic Stories Theater Company.
Cool. And give me an idea of what kind of stuff you do.
Expanding Minds, one show at a time. So every theater piece that we do is to educate, to advocate, and to teach about other cultures besides white culture.
Yeah, sure.
And our interactions with one another.
Amen.
So then that way we can understand that we're a lot the same and we can enjoy our uniqueness and our differences just as well as our similarities.
Thank
you. We
you.
can learn from each other and respect one another opposed to trying to change one another.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I try to do out here too with my. This is my artwork.
Oh, that's your artwork. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what I do, try to use comedy, sarcasm,
right,
as a means to get head start conversations.
Correct.
We're in the wrong city for this, baby.
This is beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, you see, I'm going to give you that one. I want to give you this one.
I like that one.
I'm going to give you a copy of that.
appreciate that.
I'm going to give you that one just for what you do, because I think that says what you do.
It does.
I think that says what you do,
Yes.
so I'm going to give you a copy of that.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do out here, is show that, look, the powers that be want us divided. They want us shouting at one another. They want us, to be, and look, when I'm out here, and to me, the streets, and that's what I learned back then, are the common denominator.
That's right.
Everybody, if you're listening to a radio program, it's because you like that radio program.
Yeah.
If you're going, but here, you never know the streets are the front lines.
Yeah, it is.
And so here we can all get together. We can all talk. We can all work it out.
Yeah.
Find out what and get past the bullshit.
Yeah. Because it's really not about that.
No.
If we're really talking about the common denominator, we're all USA.
Amen.
Have you heard of August Wilson?
That name sounds familiar.
Okay, if you think about Tennessee Williams, O'Neill, Eugene O'Neill, Arthur Williams, then next in line would probably be August Wilson. They're probably the top 4 playwrights in the world as far as respected by the arts.
I'm sorry, I just lost.
August Wilson is black, but the rest of you guys are not. But they're at the top, and all the work that he's done, things that are pertinent to us as a human race.
Right.
And that's what we do. Any theater that we do, any piece that we do, whether it's a one-act play or a full 2-act play, it's a meaning behind it. We do some with comedy relief, and on, but it still has a meaning.
Right.
Yeah, it's relevant. If you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, it's very relevant.
Let me ask you, because you're perfect to answer this question too. When I see these groups come up like the LPG and the Black Lives Matter and all that, do you think they're doing any harm, or do you think they're doing good? What do you see there?
I'm probably one of the least judgmental person that you ever meet. But I think the world that we live in is a melting pot. And everybody's going to have to be tolerant of, because we even do pieces that relates to all those that you mentioned there. Okay. I think there are. You know, everybody.
Because again, I see that as part of I look at who's funding them. I see where the money's going.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I get what
and
you're
I'm
saying.
seeing as again the powers that be using some of those groups. Because when I was an activist back in starting out in California, it was the same thing. We had to watch where the money was coming from and who was infiltrating us.
If you trace the money, you see where it all comes from.
Yeah, indeed.
And it doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican or independent.
That's another way.
If you trace the money,
thank you.
Then you get the meaning behind it.
Thank you.
And you're not may or may not agree with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I know where you're coming from. I know exactly where you're coming from.
I mean, like the George Soroses of the world and stuff that use groups again to divide.
Exactly.
A group might start out, as trying to do benign.
Oh yeah.
And then they're infiltrated.
Exactly.
And twisted towards a political
What they
agenda.
say, the world is full of good intentions, right?
Yeah.
And what they said about a drowning man, something about intent with a. Hey sister, what's that saying about a drowning man and intent? What's that saying about a drowning man with intent? What's that? Intent don't save
Great
a drowning
intentions
man.
don't save a good intentions don't save a drowning man.
So you may start out with good intentions, and somewhere along the line, I'm gonna use this group for my purpose.
Are you okay with me taking a picture?
Please take all you want.
I'm gonna use this group for my purpose, and that's been used with the LGBT. That's been used with blacks, Hispanic.
Thank you.
All groups.
Yeah.
Have been used with poor whites.
Well, even the Black Panthers. I remember hanging out with the Black Panthers back in the day, and they were okay with some young white kid, coming along because they were like, okay, this is what's going. We talk, they're talking. But now the new Black Panthers are sort of like different, they're like kind of divisive, and then you've got the black Muslim militant groups that are, as I say, being used to divide rather than to put us together. And that's what when I was out in California, I helped start the Institute for Environmental Alternatives, because when ecology was first coming out, And we were aware that there would be groups or infiltrators coming in that would try to use what we're finding out about the environment to bend it towards a political agenda. And lo and behold, what happened? Global warming! And they took CO2, made it the boogeyman, and now they're using the whole climate things that we were finding out as a political tool to repress our energy usage. Right? So they can control and captivate us.
Okay.
So, because the whole thing...
Like food.
Yeah. The whole thing is, the whole climate thing
Can I get a picture of you?
Of course you can.
Yeah, okay.
How you doing, darling? Yeah, I'm just thrilled to meet you guys. I swear, doing what you're doing and,
I can't, okay, so...
Took a picture, right?
Yeah, I did, but, I can't see. So I have to trust that the camera is...
Taking the picture.
As long as I can get the image inside the frame,
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to make sure that I
Maybe
get it.
take one of me and my favorite person.
yeah, let me get a picture of the two of you. Come on.
Yes. Wait, where you want to be?
Yeah, stand on that side of Donald. I'll stand near this creature. So you like it, Donald? Really? You must be...
I'm going to tell you like this, man.
He's not my favorite.
Politicians.
But it is what it is.
Politicians are strange bedfellows.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter who it is.
But he's not really like the cut out of a cloth politician. I mean,
No, he's more like a businessman now. He's more like he's still a businessman. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, that's what people, I think, he's more that than he is anything else.
Anything.
Yeah.
Maybe if he did 4 more years, he may say he's a politician. But right now,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I always judge a guy, too, by the enemies. And when I figured he had his own party against him, He had a majority of the media against him, Hollywood against him, the tech giants against him. He might be doing something right, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, and what I find is like a lot of people don't like his style. I can understand that. Maybe you don't, because it is different.
You know what? If you don't, yes.
I'm weary of all.
Oh, well, indeed.
Anybody,
Oh, of course, you should be.
anybody who has experienced what he's experienced, I'm just saying how he grew up, so on and so forth, or what have you. You know, and I understand stuff about his parents being immigrants, so on and so forth. But you have to say that that is the American dream, just like Barack was the American dream. So it's just two sides of the coin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so maybe where he comes from might be a bit different than where I come from. You know what I mean? But he's not status quo, right? He's not someone who's just simply looking out for party interests.
No, I look at it this way. He didn't have to do this.
He didn't.
He was a billionaire.
If you look at his history, for years they've been asking him, when are you going to run for president?
And he was,
And
I'm
he
having
was
a good time. I don't want to do it.
He
Yeah.
didn't want to be bothered with all that stuff. That wasn't even his part of his. So that he did it, I really think it was because Obama talked shit about him. And he was just like, you know what, fuck it.
No, he actually, if you listen to it, he always said, look, if there ever comes a time
Yeah.
that I feel I have to do it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I think that time came.
Yeah.
I've had the opportunity to, I love doing this because I get to meet everybody.
Yeah.
Last week I spoke to one of his bodyguards. I spoke to a guy who's working with his economic zones for the black community, who's in charge of, educating.
Hopefully it wasn't Ben Carson. Even though the Ben Carson story touched my soul when I was a little girl, I read it. Big Dreams, or what was it? Big Ideas, whatever it was. It was big something. I read it. It was very inspirational. I think he's an idiot, personally.
I actually had the opportunity to speak.
If I wanted him to do something about my brain, I might contact him, but I wouldn't want to have him do nothing with
Well, I
housing.
actually had an opportunity to speak to Ben Carson's right-hand man.
What?
He gave me a half-hour interview out here, and you can see it on my YouTube channel.
Wow.
And one of the things I asked, because he really gave me in-depth, and he's being very candid with me.
Yeah.
And I asked him, why isn't more getting done? Why can't we see some of the programs being initiated? And he says, because 85% of our government is corrupt. The bureaucrats stop it. We're being infiltrated by a lot of corrupt people. So that's a lot. And I hear that over and over again from government people out here. The guy that was working with his economic zone says there's billions of dollars for the black community right now that Trump has put out there. But the black community don't know about it because the media is stopping them and the bureaucrats are stopping them from knowing about it. So it's actually, again, it goes back to the powers that be to try to keep communities down so they can keep us in
divisive.
Right. So, hi there,
Can I
Don.
get a selfie for my class?
Sure, take them. Yes.
I need one with you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Let me move out the way.
All right.
you.
Oh,
So where can I get your information?
right here.
Let me get some of that
behind
hand sanitizer.
this. Yeah, sure. Right on the other side of this, get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
Which is, good for any crime in the world.
Any crime.
Yeah.
We might need to get a couple of these.
No, take as many as you want, please. Let me get that poster for you. I want to give you that. Yeah, one of the things that Trump has done, there's been a 300% increase in black small businesses. So, and that's why, people come back and go, where's the citizens? When economy booms, all boats are raised.
Yeah.
But again, it's a lot of people are misinformed because that the media, of course, again, is part of the machine to keep us divided.
Right.
So
it always has been.
Oh, yeah.
Historically.
Oh, absolutely. But I think that's breaking up. People are waking up because of people like you who are going out there with your work and educating them.
Yeah.
And I mean myself, and the independent news channels that are out there. That, because people, the Tommy Robinsons, the Infowars, what's that? The young black lady that's out there now, all over the place, that started Black Exit. She started Black Exit. What's her name? You know her name. Name. Give me the name. Come on, name. Beautiful young black lady who was a liberal, and then recognized, the plantation that the Democrats are trying to keep everybody on, and then, switched over and says, hey, wait, this is nuts. I'm looking at what Trump's doing for us, and I'm going that way. I don't know about Instagram. I'll remember her name. Someone's got to remember her name. But again, people are waking up to the fact that that we're being lied to, and so we're listening to each other. That's why people are going to go listen to you and doing what you're doing, and it's going to resonate because truth resonates with people.
It does. Yeah.
They can sense it, and then they can also sense when people are trying to divide us.
Right.
It's natural. It's a natural thing. And so God bless the two of you. God bless you.
What's your name?
A badass Uncle Sam.
Oh, badass Uncle Sam.
A.K.A. Michael DeBerry. And your name is?
Michael. I'm Donna Marie.
Donna Marie, beautiful.
Lee Robeson.
I can't wait to see your work. I can't wait to see it. I really can't.
We really appreciate you.
Oh,
It's good talking to you, man.
Oh, bless you. All right.
Just beautiful. I used to say I'd like to have been able to have them hang some more and kind of like fill them in a few things and probe them a little bit more. I think the lady was still might have been somewhat enamored with the Obama administration, but I could have blown that out of the water, but Anyway, God bless you. Thanks for stopping by. You know what to do. And if you can't do anything else, pray for me. If you can do everything else, pray for me. And I shall see you on the streets.